Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and we're in the midst of my DVD collection of Asian movies specifically. Right now we're tackling the Chinese language DVDs, so let us continue, shall we? And first DVD tonight is going to be The Devil Hunters. The Devil Hunters. This is, of course, as you might expect, another Moon Lee film. Not a lot of Moon Lee films are available for rental on Netflix, so over the years I've purchased them as I've found them online, either eBay or wherever. Now in this one, I think there was it's a typical action plot. You got some gangsters, they steal some jewels or something like that, and you have their rival gang and then the cops, and they're all having kind of a free-for-all. This one was pretty good. I think this one focused more on like shooting and gunplay, which is, not a problem since there's a lot of action in it. The one thing, though, with Moon Lee, usually you like to see her do her martial arts, in the films, because that's really what her selling point is and what she's best at. So the fact that there was a lot of gunfire in this one, I remember I was a little bit disappointed in it. But, Devil Hunters, it's got a lot of action in it, a decent enough flick. Obviously this is a B-grade type flick, but I liked it. I think Francis Ng also played the villain in this, and he was. I remember him being quite good in one of his younger years roles, one of his early roles. All right. So our next film here I've covered. It's one of my favorite horror films, and that is Diary. This is the one with Charlene Choi as the lead. Oh, my tree is, well, that's not good. It sounds like there's a wire gone wrong. Anyways. So you have Oxide Pang as the director. A very good horror director in this one. And this is one that I covered in my Asian Horror Year in Review playlist, I think from the year 2006. And this is more of a psychological horror flick. If you're into, like, the psychological stuff, there are a few bloody moments as well, so that's always welcome. A good lead performance. Actually, all the performances in this are quite good. And, definitely one that's very psychological and very slow-paced and a bit artsy, but this is one of my favorites. And if you want more of my thoughts, you could check out the Asian Horror playlist. So, as you can see, based on the back there, things get pretty dicey. You know what I mean? The girl she's a bit, well, I won't spoil it. So that's a good one. I have another DVD of that as well. I guess I purchased two of them. I think one, again, is a Region 3 release. The other one's a Region 1. Alright, the next one here is one of those cheapo collection videos. Those box set type things? Yes, it's the Donnie Yen Collection. It's funny how they name it that. It's almost like the quintessential collection of Donnie Yen films, but it isn't. So you have High Voltage, Circus Kids, Satan Returns, and Cinema of Vengeance. If you have not heard of any of those, there's probably a reason why. Although, a few of these were pretty good. So you have, you basically got Donnie here. Look at this guy. Look at him. Now that photo, ironically, it's funny how they package this stuff. I'm pretty sure that photo was from Dragon Tiger Gate, which is a movie that was released far later than the films in this little box set. Since most of these films are either from the 90s or early 2000s, maybe. But, yeah. So you got High Voltage. That one, I don't think I like that one. That one had, it had a bunch of action in it, but it was all low grade and not well choreographed, which is a rarity for Donnie Yen, right? Because, man, most of his action scenes are solid, but High Voltage was not. So, Circus Kids I remember being pretty good. Let me check my notes on that one. I remember Circus Kids being alright. What do we got here? Yeah, so this is the plot. After his circus tent is blown to smithereens by warplanes, Yun Bao tries to find work but crosses some bad guys. So it looks like most of the action in this one was backloaded to the second half. It was pretty good stuff. But Yun Bao is really the lead actor in Circus Kids. Donnie Yen just showed up for a little bit. So again, it's another, almost like false advertising here. You know what I mean? You got a misleading picture on the front here from Dragon Tiger Gate, a misleading picture on the back from Dragon Tiger Gate, and then one of the movies, Circus Kids, Donnie Yen's only in the movie for like a small handful of minutes. And then the third film, Satan Returns. I think this one was pretty good. You know, kind of low grade again. So Francis Ng is the bad guy. He's showing up a lot in this library, isn't he? That's good, because he's a very good actor. And Francis is killing women born on the 6th of June for some satanic reason. And Donnie Yen, playing a cop, is trying to stop him. So this one actually, Satan Returns had some pretty good atmosphere to it. It's more like a thriller action flick, so that was pretty good. It's something a little different for Donnie. He wears glasses in this one, it looks like. And then the fourth film, Cinema of Vengeance, is kind of it's like a documentary. It was okay. But obviously all of these films are collapsed, oh dear, on one DVD. You have 4 films. Look at how low grade this is. It's one DVD, and it has 2 sides to it. So you have 2 movies on one side, 2 movies on the other. So there's a lot of... The picture audio quality wasn't too good. I'm sure they compressed a lot of data into it. So yeah, I got this one cheap. It was kind of worth it. It was cheap, and 2 of the flicks were pretty good. The Donnie Yen Collection. Alright, our next one here, I remember. I haven't watched it in a while, but it's pretty good. And that is Dragon Squad. Dragon Squad. So you got, what do you got? You got Sammo Hung in this. Maggie Q. Who else is in this? Sean Yu. He's very good. Lai Bingbing. She's a good actress. Simon Yam. And Michael Biehn. Remember Michael Biehn from the Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger? He's over here to the... Yeah, Michael Biehn shows up in this one. So that piqued my interest too. So this has a really good cast. You know, it's about, I think, a group of bank robbers or something go up against some Interpol agents. And Michael Biehn is a bad guy in this too, so it's pretty cool. The action gets a bit ridiculous at times, but it's a pretty high-octane flick. A lot of fun to watch. Dragon Squad. Not a lot of people know about that one, probably because the name is so generic. This is a good flick. And speaking of cheesy Donnie Yen movies, there it is. That's the real Dragon Tiger Gate. This isn't false advertising. What you see on this is what you get inside. So this one, it's almost like a comic booky type flick. It's real cheesy. These guys got cheesy hairstyles. I mean, you got Donnie Yen, Sean Yu, and Nicholas Tse, I think, is in this. I think I'm pronouncing Nicholas's last name wrong, but I don't know how to pronounce it. So you got Dragon Wong. That's Donnie Yen's name. All right. And then you have Turbo Shek. That's Sean Yu's name. And Nicholas Tse's name is Tiger Wong. So they're really, it's a basic, you know, it's actually a little bit different from a typical action flick. It's very stylish. Some of the sets are actually really cool in this. It almost has like a futuristic type set design. Really vivid lighting in this. I remember the lighting was very vivid. The fight scenes are good. The fight scenes are solid. I mean, Donnie Yen, you know, he has a tendency sometimes to really mug it out and overact. And this is one of his overacting extravaganzas. He's eating up the camera in this one. He just eats it up. So yeah, I always really liked this one. This one was a lot of fun. Haven't seen it in a few years. I got to rewatch it. That's the thing when you go through your DVD collection, you're like, oh man, I got to rewatch this one. All right, our next film is a legitimate quality film, I think, and it's one of the better horror films of the last 10 years. and it's from my boy Ho-cheung Pang, and that is Dream Home. Now this is the Region 3 DVD release. I bought it years ago. This is a 2010, I think, film, and I will be covering this in my Asian horror playlist when I get to that year with more thoughts. There's also a Region 1 US release of it. There might be a UK release too, so this is widely available. This film, Ho-cheung Pang, I don't think he ever directed a horror film before this, so he goes into the horror film genre, and he really brings it. This movie is graphically violent, which is, of course, very nice for fans of horror. And the lead actress here is Josie Ho. She's... and Eason Chan is in this too. That's right. I forgot. They're both good actors. And it's basically kind of like a little bit of a... How can I say this? It addresses, I guess, the modern desire and need for expensive housing, I guess, for lack of a better term, in Hong Kong. Like, it's just out of control land prices and that type of thing. And what are you willing to do to acquire your dream home? You know what I mean? So this is not to be confused with Dream House, which is an English language film that came out in a similar time period, and I've heard is horrible. So don't get those two confused. This is Dream Home. But be prepared for this. When you watch this, you have to be prepared for some nasty stuff, because it gets nasty. And as I said, sometimes it's good to get, an art house director to do a horror movie, or a non-genre director to do a horror movie. Sometimes they could bring some energy to the genre, and I think that's what he did in this case. Oh boy, we got another, man. Got another Girls with Guns flick here. Moonly again. Dreaming the reality. Now this one's got Yukari Oshima and Sybil Who in it. Now actually, it shows Moonly on the front. It doesn't really list her in the credits. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. So you get Moonly, Yukari Oshima, and Sybil Who, so that's always good. Let me check my notes on this one. I remember this being a good one. Alright, so I guess in my notes I see that Sybil Who gives one of the best performances of her career in this one, so that's good. And Moonly is used just enough, and Yukari Oshima is only a supporting character. So again, you have a scenario where they're casting a bunch of good talent here, and they only use one or two of them sparingly. Action is good. Trashy B-grade action, but it's fun to watch. That's what my notes say. So Dreaming the Reality. Good title for a film. You'd think it would be like a virtual reality film or something. It's just a basic, basic crime flick, I think. It's gambling and drinking habits, it says here, for the protagonist, so... most of their movies are pretty good. Alright, what do we got here now? Oh man, this is a big one. I'll definitely review this on my channel in a separate video. That is Drug War with Johnny To. This is a more recent one. I think this one came out in like 2012. This movie is fantastic. You got Louis Koo in the main role here. He's the most well-known actor in this. But it's basically about, drug trafficking. And it gets really into the details. A lot of character interaction in this, and nuanced character interaction. There's a bit of thought you need to put into it. There's some outstanding exchanges of dialogue and scenarios here between the different characters. That's really what drives this. It does have some action in it, some really good action and shootouts, but it has a lot more to it. I really enjoyed this one. This is one of my favorite films, actually, the last few years. Drug War, yes. Now our next film here I have 3 different versions of, but I'll just show you. So, Yeah. Well, anyways, there's some pretty bad releases out there. You got to be careful what you buy. So this is Drunken Master, the classic from Jackie Chan. Does that look like a good quality DVD to you? Because it isn't. I think I bought this one on eBay or something. Very poor picture and audio quality. I tried to get my money back, but I actually couldn't. I don't know what happened there. Usually you can, not in that case. So then I bought a second version of it, this one, which is a decent version, a little bit better. And then finally I picked up the US release, this is the one you'll probably want to get. It's got the best picture and audio quality to it. Now this one, it's a must-see. If you're even a fan of martial arts flicks or Jackie Chan, you gotta watch this one. It was released in the late 70s, I believe, and this one was a big-time game changer too. Where Jackie Chan really just, I think they were trying to make him into like the next Bruce Lee for a few years, and it wasn't working out too well. And he did a few movies in a row. This one being one of them that kind of created his own path, the action comedy. And the fights in this are really quite interesting. The kung fu in this, the martial arts, is a little bit robotic. It's not quite as fluid as, like, say, the Raid films or anything like that, or a lot of the modern day stuff. But it does have a lot of really cool stuff in it, definitely. A lot of good fights. A lot of strategy, too, and styles of fighting, which is a lot of fun. So, yeah, obviously, you got to have it in your collection if you're a fan of martial arts. And then, of course, you got to get the sequel, Drunken Master 2, The Legend of Drunken Master, also known as. Yeah, this one totally blew me away. The last fight in this one is between Jackie Chan and Ken Lo. And I think I got his name right. And he's just... If you've ever seen the scene, this is the one where the final action scene is in like that manufacturing plant, and the dude's whipping his legs around, the bad guy, and he's tough. The fight just goes on forever. It's awesome. The last fight in this one is just outstanding. And there's a bunch of other stuff in it, too. Good comedy, some good fights in the middle. Yeah, another must-have if you're a fan of martial arts or Jackie Chan. This one here. The DVD cover fell off of this one. But this is Dumplings, the feature-length version of Dumplings. And... yeah, it's for some reason I did not get the 2-disc DVD set of 3 Extremes, which I actually do have, and I will show you at a later point in time. But when I first picked this up, I think I rented this off of eHit back in the day. I think that's what it was. Like back, eHit no longer exists. It's the DVD rental site that went out of business like 7 or 8 years ago, and they offered. After you rented a movie, you could buy it for $5, which was an awesome deal. So I bought it. This is basically a rented version that I got because I enjoyed the feature-length version so much. But, so I still have this. And then when I bought the 3 Extremes 2-disc DVD set, when it came out in the US, I got the movie again as part of that set. This is a very good flick. I will, may as well cover it now, right? It has to do with... I don't like really giving away what the dumplings have to do. I feel like it's best for you just to figure out for yourself. It's about vanity and a woman trying to retain her beauty and the lengths she's willing to do that. And it involves some interesting dumplings that another woman prepares for her. To regain her youth. We'll put it that way. Very good flick. It has a sensual nature about it. I actually covered it in my Asian horror playlist as well. So if you want to, you could check it out from 2004. Check out that video. All right. So we made a little bit more progress tonight. We still got a bunch left. But hopefully, obviously we covered a lot of martial arts flicks tonight. And some of them are very good. Some of them not so much. So, as always, we'll see you next time.